5 people down there frozen in the snow.
Shivering under blankets, sleeping under piles of blankets covered in snow.
My own little tent outside, and what am I asking for is warm for my street family.
Like just the wind gusts were crazy. Like my tent almost blew away I don't know how many times, so I anchored that right down.
Welcome Homeless Life Stories.
In the bone-chilling winter of 2025, Canada is not only frozen by snow, but by the fate of over 235,000 homeless people facing death each day on the sidewalks of Montreal, in community shelters in Halifax, or right in the heart of the nation's social fabric. In Kelowna, a serene lakeside city by Okanagan Lake, more than 300 people sleep in tents. In Barrie, once a symbol of safety, makeshift tent camps now line the roads like ghost markets built from despair. Over 1,100 people in Halifax cannot find shelter, while the biting cold waits to turn them into statistics. And a new alarm has been sounded. The Mushkegowuk Council, representing Indigenous communities, has declared a state of emergency as rising homelessness, displacement, and mental health crises spiral out of control. Their plea echoes through the ice. We are dying in silence while no one sees. Canada is not just facing a homelessness crisis, it's confronting a moral reckoning. In a nation praised for its welfare system, egalitarian values, and compassion, why has every street corner become the site where those abandoned by the system quietly wait for the end? If you believe no one deserves to sleep outside, like, comment, and subscribe to Homeless Life.
Some nights I stay wherever I can. In the last Arctic blast, 5 people down there frozen in the snow.
The reality spreads across the streets. Night falls in Kelowna. Under the dim glow of Okanagan Lake, plastic tents tremble in the wind. Over 300 homeless people live this way every night, a number never before seen in this resort paradise.
Yeah, but that's just Abbotsford. How many in Vancouver? How many thousands in Vancouver? How many hundreds or if not thousands in Surrey, Burnaby, New West, Mission, Chilliwack?
In Barrie, a quiet town in Ontario, the scene is just as haunting. Young people curled up on church benches, mothers holding their children, gently patting their backs to distract them from hunger. What was once believed to be a safe place is now mirrored across the country. More than 1,100 people in Halifax, 737 in St. John's, thousands more in Winnipeg, all sharing the same fate. This is no longer just about Vancouver or Toronto. It is the reflection of a storm sweeping across Canada, where tents cling to parks, markets, and bus stops. In the weary eyes dulled by cold and hunger, we see the exhaustion of a society slowly collapsing under the weight of inequality. Has anyone stopped to ask what can make an ordinary life collapse overnight? We've grown accustomed to looking at them from a distance as nameless shadows. But every tent holds a story, a collapse, a plea for help, and proof that society's indifference has become its deepest wound. Are you ready to step into this story? If so, stand with Homeless Life Stories by liking, commenting, and subscribing, small gestures that can light up even the darkest corner.
It's been 2 years, bro. I've been out here for, I think now it's going on 18 months, over 18 months.
2. Living in plain sight yet forgotten by society. In Montreal, along streets like Rue St. Catherine or Park Extension, you'll see them each morning quietly folding up plastic tarps, thin, faded blankets, and slipping into bus stations or beneath overpasses not out of shame, but because they've grown used to being invisible. 70% of the city's homeless population is concentrated in just a few neighborhoods, where the crowds do nothing to blunt their loneliness. A broken suitcase, a worn-out trolley, or sometimes just a plastic bag dragged across the pavement carries everything may have left possessions of people who've lost their homes, and along with it, every sliver of hope. Some were once students, plumbers, single mothers. Today they are simply labeled homeless. In the depths of winter, when ice coats the sidewalks, makeshift shelters are no longer just places to stay dry, but arenas of survival. When you see them, do you ever pause to think, one wrong step in life could bring any one of us to where they stand now? Jesus once said, "I was hungry and you gave me something to eat. I was thirsty and you gave me something to drink." It's not merely a teaching, but a reminder that compassion begins with recognizing that those who suffer are still human just like us. Don't just look, listen. Don't just feel pity, take action.
I have to keep myself warm any way I can.
3. Fentanyl, the silent storm of despair. In recent years, fentanyl has haunted Canada, not only in health reports but on every sidewalk, bus stop, and in neighborhoods like Vancouver's Kensington. In these places where some laugh over coffee, others sit slumped nearby, injecting fentanyl into their veins, desperate to forget a life that no longer feels livable. Under the Clark Drive overpass or behind the public market, you might see a young figure collapse, a trembling hand searching for warmth, and suddenly everything stops. This is not criminal behavior. It is the sound of a cry for help that the world has learned to ignore. Fentanyl, a synthetic opioid 100 times stronger than morphine, is responsible for 74% of overdose deaths in Canada, with 94% involving people who are homeless or have lost stable housing. These numbers are not just statistics, they are names, faces, and broken stories. Daniel, 32, once a construction worker in Calgary, became addicted after he was prescribed painkillers following an on-site injury. Soon after, he lost his job, his home, and even custody of his child. Now, he stands quietly in a corner of some street, using the drug to silence a day that once held sunlight. What pushes a human being to that edge? It's not that they chose the streets or wished to lose their family. It is that the system simply wasn't there to catch them when they fell. If you dare to stand close, to look into their eyes without judgment, but with kindness, you'll see this truth. They didn't choose the sidewalks. They were pushed there. The syringes scattered on the ground tell stories no one hears. Bodies lying motionless, may not even be dead, but no one stops to tell the difference. Most people harmed by fentanyl die silently while still alive. Jesus said, "Blessed are the merciful, for they shall receive mercy." But mercy isn't passive sorrow from afar. It is action. In Canada, harm reduction efforts like naloxone distribution, safe injection sites, and recovery programs have saved thousands. They are controversial, yes, but every life saved is a victory we cannot ignore. Remember, fentanyl doesn't kill with fear, it kills with despair. And the only thing stronger than despair is hope, especially when that hope is given by another human being. If you believe no one was born to fade away under a bridge or die in solitude, share this video. Homeless Life Stories does not tell these stories to chase views, we tell them to ask humanity. Once again, if this were you, wouldn't you want someone to care? 4. Intervention policy when action becomes a battlefield. On streets littered with needles and corners where people breathe despair instead of air, policy is no longer theory, it's the only weapon left to save lives. Canada knows this, and they've acted. But taking action in a crisis is never easy. The Reaching Home program, a nationwide effort to reduce homelessness, funnels hundreds of millions of dollars each year to cities like Toronto, Vancouver, Winnipeg, and Calgary. This is not a paper program. Every clean needle, every vial of naloxone, every thermal sleeping bag carries hope for a body that's lost its way. In 2024 alone, 15 million clean needles were distributed, tens of thousands of naloxone doses were handed out, and safe inhalation kits became fragile lifelines separating someone from death. In Toronto, a 24/7 supervised injection site means people no longer have to fight for space in the shadows to inject drugs. Yet this humanity often stands at the mercy of public backlash. People ask, why give supplies to drug users instead of forcing them to quit? They forget you can't help someone recover if they're already dead. Meanwhile, Build Canada Homes was launched in September 2025, a new federal housing agency with an initial budget of $13 billion. Its goal, rapidly boost social housing and stem the tide of people being pushed onto the streets. Supported by data and driven by real needs, this initiative could change tens of thousands of lives if executed well. But even the best policies have painful fault lines. A community kitchen shut down for crowding, a supply truck fined for parking too long, a safe injection site protested for encouraging addiction. Every time this happens, people on the margins are forced to hover between being saved and being abandoned. In Canada today, policy is not just a tool. It's a scalpel meant to heal, but capable of cutting deeper if misused. The question remains, will we keep treating homelessness as a problem to manage, or start seeing these people as human beings who need saving? What do you think of clean needle programs and safe injection sites, compassionate or dangerous? And if it were someone you loved, would you choose a different path?
I know what I need. I don't need nothing except peace, respect, and liberty.
5. Real stories, shared sadness beneath life's dust. On the dusty streets of Vancouver, Montreal, and Toronto, thousands of people pass us by like faint shadows. But behind the worn-out clothes and the lost expressions lie stories that are weighty, heartbreaking, and beautiful in their humanity, stories that make us ask, what did they do wrong? Or was it the system that failed them? Take Daniela Leah, 22. Even her name feels fragile. She just left a rehab center after battling her own demons for years. Every step in East Hastings is a test one phone call. A night without shelter. A whispered temptation could undo everything. Daniela has been clean for 19 days. I've come too far to go back, she says, though her voice is as thin as a sigh carried away by the wind. Somewhere else, a different story with the same broken heart. Sarah, 38, once worked as an EQ nurse at a major hospital in Toronto. She spent countless nights tending to patients clinging to life, comforting, caring, wiping away sweat. To many, she was an angel in white. But then Sarah burned out. Repeated trauma broke her spirit. She took leave, then lost her job, then fell behind on rent. A chain of failures dragged her into homelessness where no one sees that she once saved lives. And then there's Mike, a veteran in Calgary, sitting on a street corner with a frayed hat. He once served in the military, but after leaving the service, he couldn't find his footing. The nightmares came suddenly. The damage of trauma pulled him down. Yet in his hands, I saw a stack of papers, job applications, housing assistance forms, doctor appointments. Mike hasn't given up. Every signature is a small circle he draws to pull himself out of the dark. Then there's Pinaline, 7 years old, hair tied back, playing with a plastic toy truck, found in a trash heap near a Halifax shelter. Her mother still works at a restaurant, it's just not enough for a rental deposit. They sleep in their car every night. Pinaline doesn't understand why the public shower closed in winter. But she sees her mom cry while asking, "Where will you study? Where will you wash? Where will you sleep?" Simple questions that cut deep. On every street corner, park, and parking lot is another world. Someone silent, someone talking to themselves, someone wearing a photo as a necklace. They haven't lost their memories. It's memory that keeps them from being swallowed whole by the invisible fences. Blessed are the merciful, for they will be shown mercy. These stories remind us the homeless are not a problem, they are people. They once loved, dreamed, contributed. Our mistake is making them invisible. They don't need to be fixed, they need a chance, a home, a hug, a door that opens back toward the world. If you believe these stories deserve to be heard, don't scroll past. Like, comment, and share to amplify homeless life stories. The little thing you do today could be the light guiding someone through the dark. Compassion is not weakness. It's the last strength that draws us closer to each other. Six, nonprofits, pillars in the storm. Amid the storm of homelessness sweeping across Canada, there remain pillars that do not crumble. Not the skyscrapers nor the government budgets, but nonprofits, places where unarmored hearts stand firm against the darkness. In Toronto, Fred Victor has become a second home to thousands of lost souls. Each day, they open their doors to over 2,000 people, offering hot breakfasts, showers, and job training programs. Their success doesn't lie in grand initiatives, it lies in small, consistent acts of love. You come when you can. We welcome you every time. The face of charity today isn't about giving from above, it's about sitting beside someone. Those who run the center don't just distribute soup or weather snowstorms intense, they talk, restore dignity, and ignite new hope. This is the magic of humanity, seeing the homeless as friends instead of recipients. In Vancouver, Union Gospel Mission, UGM is more than a shelter. It's a place where stories are rewritten, where life's disjointed rhythms find a rough but hopeful harmony. They serve 1,000 meals a day, offer healthcare, transitional housing, and recovery support. The story of Marcus, once addicted to fentanyl, is proof after living on the street. UGM learned auto repair, and now he stands in their kitchen, serving the same meals he once queued up to receive. Love one another with sincere love. Hate what is evil, cling to what is good. These nonprofits aren't a temporary fix, they are the beating heart compensating for the gaps left behind by policy. Groups like Salvation Army, Covenant House, and countless soup kitchens in small towns are proof that even when the world judges, some still call the homeless by their names, not by their condition. Not everyone experiencing homelessness has lost their future, but too many have lost their chance. The fight to give them that chance before they sink into despair, addiction, or crime is a battle fought not with weapons, but with will. What can we do? We can start by listening, by sharing this story, by volunteering an hour, sending fever medicine, or simply writing words of encouragement. Let those living at the margins remember they once belonged to this society and they deserve to return. No one is born to live in darkness, and there are still lights that never go out. Homeless Life Stories exists to honor those flames. Let's help light one more. 7. Public Safety Society's response. When tents begin to appear, society's first impulse is often fear, followed quickly by reaction, removal, cleanup, and restriction. To many, homelessness is synonymous with danger, obstruction, or even an uninvited intrusion. But is that the full truth? On East Hastings Street in Vancouver, once the emblem of the overdose crisis, we see two parallel realities. On one hand, people hurriedly pass by collapsed bodies, clutching their bags tight. On the other hand, volunteers from PIVA Legal Society kneel beside a woman in overdose shock, holding her hand, quietly waiting for medical help. Two societies in one city, one that avoids and one that stops. Policies aimed at cleaning up public spaces are often justified in the name of safety: pressure washing sidewalks, installing barriers, or adding anti-sleep benches at stations. But we must ask, safety for whom? Is it designed to shield us from seeing suffering, or to strip the homeless of their last refuge? In Toronto, instead of chasing people away, the Street to Homes initiative tried something different: engagement over enforcement. Police officers, social workers, and mental health professionals walked together. They brought no fines, only water bottles, shelter listings, and a simple question: do you need help? This shift led to a 48% transition rate from street to temporary housing, far surpassing coercive models. We must stop thinking of the homeless as threats. Many are victims themselves of violence, eviction, or policies lacking compassion. In the past, we handed out tents, instant noodles, and donations, but these are only tools. What people experiencing homelessness yearn for most is recognition, a name spoken, a hand extended, a reminder they are still human. Not everyone on the streets is a danger, but anyone can become a protector. The first step is knowing they are not invisible. Sometimes the only thing that keeps despair at bay is not a bed, but knowing someone believes they're worth saving. Homeless Life Stories will keep telling these truths. Share, comment, and help reshape the meaning of safety with empathy at its core. Eight, solutions addressing the root cause. When faced with the homelessness crisis, we often focus too much on the symptoms and forget the root causes. Banning encampments, cutting off charity, and intensifying street cleanups are mere surface-level responses. But as many experts warn, homelessness is not a fault, it is a result. The result of a system out of balance. In Calgary, the Housing First model has offered a powerful and deeply humane answer. The principle is simple, but it requires courage to adopt. Give people a home first, then address their remaining challenges. No need to wait for them to get clean, no demand that they prove they're worthy of support. And the results. Over 1,200 individuals have broken free from the cycle of homelessness. Healthcare and security costs drop by up to 40%. These aren't just numbers, they are lives restored. Winnipeg takes a different approach, integrating green housing, employment, and digital skills. They're not just building homes, they're rebuilding lives from multiple angles: stable shelter, sustainable jobs, and a connected community. This is no longer charity, it's the science of rebuilding society. Nationally, the Reaching Home initiative expanded the budget and distributed harm reduction tools like clean needles, smoking kits, and thousands of naloxone doses to save lives. Though controversial, especially among zero-tolerance groups, the stats are undeniable: fewer deaths, more survival. The question is no longer should we intervene, but how can we intervene more effectively? The government also launched Build Canada Homes, a new federal housing agency backed by $13 billion to build large-scale affordable units. This is a commendable effort, and one that could reshape Canada if it's consistently implemented with vision and without being abandoned halfway. Yet policy alone won't end this fight. A system can be fully funded and still empty of soul. That's why nonprofits like Salvation Army, Union Gospel Mission, and Covenant House remain pillars of hope. They stand with those nobody else wants near. They offer food, warmth, prayers, not asking why, only how can we help. But the most urgent need now isn't more regulations, it's more certainty. The assurance that no one deserves to sleep outside in the cold, no one deserves to be abandoned because they fell. Nine. Hope, the vision for 2030, a future without cold concrete. Looking at Canada today, its cracked walls and wind-worn edges, it's easy to believe the fight against homelessness is hopeless. But beneath each flickering streetlight, in every breath that hasn't given up, a vision still survives, a small seed of hope for a gentler tomorrow. A recent report by the Canadian Alliance to End Homelessness estimates that with the right investment and resolve, Canada could help over 100,000 people escape homelessness by 2030. This isn't sentimental speculation, it's a figure grounded in successful models already active across the country. Edmonton is one of the brightest examples. Here, the community chose not only to build homes, they rebuilt lives. Nearly 800 people who were once homeless have moved into safe apartments, returned to work, attended skill-building classes, and, perhaps most importantly, reconnected with the hope of being human again. The metal fences once meant to keep them out have been replaced by fences lined with flowers, judgment turned into a greeting. In Winnipeg, the bold green housing projects are breaking new ground: eco-friendly homes, clean technology, solar power, and smart water systems, all operated by people who were once homeless. These homes don't just shelter, they empower. A place to live is good, one resident said, but a chance to stay standing is even better. This hope is fueled not only by homes, but by systemic shifts, new living wage laws, rent control policies, and promises of 10,000 affordable units in the next 5 years. These promises must be more than words, but the signs of movement are there. And when a spark is lit, it must be guarded. But beneath this rebuilt framework are the people we must never forget, because they are the reason for every number in policy. There's Daniela trying to hold onto sobriety in downtown Vancouver, a 10-year-old boy in a tent outside Calgary clutching his dog to stay warm. Sarah, a former AQ nurse, was sheltering in front of a supermarket at 3 a.m. to escape the icy wind. These aren't just reminders, they are invitations. A hope doesn't come from seeing light at the end of the tunnel, it comes from creating that light together. You can begin right now, share this video, support a charity, volunteer for an hour, or simply look someone in the eye and say, I see you. You're not invisible. One glance, one gesture could be the start of a reborn life. Leave a comment. What does hope mean to you? And join Homeless Life Stories in writing the next chapter to 2030, where no one sleeps in the cold or
system.
Conclusion: Canada, a mirror and a call to action. Canada, a land praised for its rolling green fields, peaceful cities, and high happiness rankings, is now witnessing shadows creeping across every street. The paddles drifting on Lake Ontario, the glitter of the CN Tower, the charm of Montreal's old districts all reflect a hard truth. we're allowing thousands to live on the margins. The quiet corners of Vancouver, the frozen air of Winnipeg, or the families sleeping in a car in Halifax all speak the same painful message. The homeless are not a problem. They are people. They were teachers, nurses, immigrant workers, and young dreamers. When a fire pit goes cold, most only see the burned debris and worn clothes. Few notice the scattered pieces of a dream, still searching for a place to rest. In Canada today, the question is no longer why are they homeless, but how long will we allow this? In all your works, remember the poor and the stranger among you. May there come a day from Vancouver to Quebec when no one has to wander through the winter night, simply because they were unlucky or poor. May kindness be more than words, may it be realized in action. Amen.